let's talk some footy now. Nathan, he actually mentioned ego there. He said the word ego, and a lot of us have spoken about it, and it's been reported, and both him and Mitch putting their egos aside and going out there for the betterment of the team. I've had no doubt about that anyway. I don't see much ego in either of these players, but, you know,
one of them's got to stand up.
One of them needs to stand up, but he looks excited. I'm excited about it. He had genuine excitement in him about the combination linking up with Mitchell Moses. It's going to be a real important one, but can they make it work, and can they put their so-called egos aside?
They have to make it work. What was interesting during that interview, at one point he did say, when questioned, he said, well, if he assumes he will be the lead man, and he is wearing the number 7 jumper. But it is important, and it is like you can't ignore the fact that they're two of the best halfbacks, the two best available halfbacks for New South Wales. But does that necessarily make them the best halves combination? Is, I guess, the question going into the series, and how quickly they can make, you know, that connection. Because him and Jarome had played all those years together, you know, since kids, 5 grand finals, 4 premierships, and it just doesn't come overnight.
Nathan will play on the ball, won't he, Gordy? Nathan will play on the ball.
Question for like Braithwaite.
Well, he'll link with Yowie and Liam Martin, and you think that Mitchell, with his leg speed, would be more the player to swing side to side, a bit like Dylan Edwards.
I think a bit like Joey, you know, back in the day. Joey was always on the ball, always at the ruck.
That'll be Cleary's role.
That's what I'm saying. He was always in support. He was always playing off the 9. He was always had the fullback on the inside or outside, and then he'd look for his 6. His 6 was always the runner. His 6 was normally a bigger body. Our 5'8s traditionally were big. Mitchell Moses isn't small. He's big. He's probably faster than any other 6. Got better footwork and great vision. So, but for him, for Mitch, it's less is more. I think he's just got to focus on running early. You can't make errors in Origin. Nathan can control the team, and then and eventually, if they keep putting pressure on Queensland with Mitch's running game and the organisational skills of Cleary and their kicking game, then they can knock the door down. Then Mitch can take advantage, and so can Nathan. Now, if looking at both these players, I don't see ego in them. Do you guys think that there's any ego in either of these players? Do you think there is?
Let's be fair.
You need an ego.
Let's be fair, Nickham. There's plenty of ego in Mitchell Moses. You see it every week, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. There's this confidence about it.
But you need it to be a playmaker. You need to be.
Can you put it aside then?
Well, I think he can. I think for sure he can. Like, how could you not respect what Nathan Cleary has done in the game? Like, that automatically makes you give respect and put your ego in the back pocket. I also think back to the final, 20 minutes of the grand final against the Broncos, when Jarome left the field and Cogger came on, and Cogger's ability to straighten everything up brought Nathan's running game into that. And I reckon, like, that might be what Laurie was alluding to last night. I don't know.
They're different personalities. I think we have to ensure that is like a fact. Mitchell's more cocksure, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nathan's more reserved. I am told, though, inside the Blues camp that they are being inseparable. I think they're trying to build a bond off the field, which, as you know, Gordy, transfers onto the field.
There's no doubt, me just looking at him, Nathan's on the ball, and I think Mitchell will be better playing second fiddle, not second fiddle, but out a bit wider, you know, trying to organise plays, and when he puts his hand up, he gets the ball.
He did it last year too. Like, in that, was it the second or third game where he scored that try? But he didn't overplay his hand in that game. He kicked really well. He did everything right, but there was just that one brief moment where he flicked the switch and he went straight through. And he has got that brilliant ability to bust a line with his running game.
They've both got different roles, which we know that they will. They just have to do their own job. You don't have to worry about ego or who's doing what or who's the dominant playmaker. Just do your job.
No, that can hurt the side. Just one boss. I believe there's one boss because it hurt Australia. So then if I get back to my era, mate, when it was like Alf and, or like, so Ricky and Laurie worked. Alf and Laurie never worked or whatever, right? So like then one boss, they run the team, and like whether it was Wally Laws or whether it was, right? So like that's what, so like.
You don't want too many Chiefs, do you?
One boss.
That's right. What's cocksure mean, by the way? You said
confident.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't know. All right, now the decision.
You're talking about Rome.
I'd never heard that before. You're quite creative.
It's in the dictionary, boys.
I'll have to check it out. Now, Jarome Luai being dropped, the incumbent 5'8", very unlucky, really. We've got 2 quality players. Yes. Not only quality, 2 of the best in the game that that have moved in. Nathan said 2 doesn't go into 3, 3 doesn't go into 2. Sorry. So how do you feel? How do you feel about it? I know it's a bit of a tough one. Him being dropped after winning the game 3.
It's
he was
a
one
tough
of the best
one,
players
but
on the
Nathan
field.
had to come back into the team. I guess I said it a moment ago. It's just that the question you have is that they are 2 great halfbacks, but I don't think it necessarily makes them the best halves combination. He's certainly got the best kicking game. Like, both of them have got the best long kicks in the game, haven't they? Really, and they will, they'll work it out. They're professionals, but it's just that New South Wales would have had that immediate connection had they had Jarome.
But you suggesting it was a gamble? This is a gamble, or it's not?
It is a gamble. It is a gamble, and it could pay off or it could not pay
How
off.
is it a gamble, though?
Well, it's a gamble because they haven't played together previously, right? And Nathan just said that they haven't played together, and they're both dominant sevens in their club sides. Yeah, that's true.
A lot of players don't play together.
But I'm just saying there is a slight gamble there, Dog, and you can't ignore it because we've spoken about it for the last 10 minutes. You know, how one of them has to change their game. And Mitchell plays that dominant 7 role on the right side of the field every single week and has done so since he left the West Tigers when he came through as the 5'8" with Luke Brooks. Yeah. But he has to change what he does on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah,
they have to work out that connection.
Mitchell had 4 try assists in the first half at the MCG last year and then was one of the best up there in Brisbane when New South Wales won the series. I think Mitchell Moses last year became a genuine Origin player.
He did.
There was he
for
became an Origin player. If you play one Origin game, it doesn't make you an Origin player. You've got to play a few. And what he did last year, I think Laurie thought, you know what, he's got to be in my team.
Well, to the point, Braith even asked Nathan then, about his selection and was there any concern that he might miss out because Mitchell and Jarome did combine that well together.
Did Luai lose his position
Overlooked.
in effect because he went to the Tigers?
No.
No.
No, because he's played well this year.
He has played right. I wasn't saying he wasn't.
It had nothing
I'm just
to do
saying
with
you think in a team that wasn't in the top 8 might have cost him.
No. I mean, because at the end of the day, not only did he go to the Tigers, but no,
The Tigers were like the Bulldogs and they were sitting on top.
No, I think they still go Moses and Cleary. If you look at the Moses and Cleary, both playing great footy, it's so mouth-watering. It has such big potential and such. These guys could really dominate series for 3 or 4 years. That's a potential that's good.
But
the risk,
I reckon.
Coming back to you, Buck Cause, and you can finish this off. The risk is though. You're right, it's a new combination, never played before, and they've only got till next Wednesday to get it right. You've got 2 dominant players who play in the same position, so as much as it's exciting and as much as it could be a huge success, there is a percentage that could go the opposite way. It could. I don't think it will, but there is.
I don't think it will either.
Yeah.
But to your point, Dog, did it moving to the Tigers? Well, put it this way. If he was still playing at the Panthers and beside Nathan on a week-to-week basis, would he be in the team?
I don't reckon he would.
Really?
No, I don't reckon he would.
I reckon
He would have been harder to omit if he was still at the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't think he would. I just think you said it yourself. The way that Mitchell played in the side last year, the way he's playing for Parramatta, the way that Cleary, you had to put Cleary in.
Yeah, I think they've just picked Mitchell because Mitchell's only been back 3 weeks.
3 or 4, yeah.
So it didn't matter how Luai was
And
playing.
came with a bang, yeah.